everyone, my name is Cameron Caffrey and welcome back to what I like to call the cozy corner here on YouTube, where we like to discuss everything about film photography as well as film and cameras in general. I hope you lot have been well. We have a fun little video for you lot today, and I say little because as you can tell by the title, we're going to be discussing this little thing right here called the Kodak Charmera. I'm not even joking, it literally fits in the palm of my hand. I'm not gonna lie to you lot, I was a bit hesitant to shoot this video, mainly because the Kodak Charmera was released about like a few months to under a year ago. At the same time, this isn't film, it's still digital. But I thought, why not? Because like I mentioned in the intro, we like to discuss cameras in general, and Kodak is arguably the biggest name in film photography. I also thought that was a cool time to shoot this video because the new Millennium version recently came out. It's basically like a holographic version, but we're reviewing the original. I hope you don't mind. So let's break it down. Let's discuss the Kodak Charmera and discuss whether or not it's still worth purchasing in the big 2026. So firstly, what is it? What is the Kodak Charmera? I'm going to describe it in my own terms first. It's essentially just a keychain camera. It's a functional keychain camera by Kodak that not only shoots photos but also videos, which I can't lie is very impressive. Like for this size, mad. This is very much a consumer product. You know, it comes in this mystery box here that I've shown you guys, and it's essentially a Labubu type of product. As you can see here on the side of the box, there are 7 styles that you can get. And again, when you purchase this, you don't know which style that you are gonna get. That's why it's such a consumer product, because you're gonna keep on buying and buying until you basically get the style that you want. But I mainly bought this just to make a review for you guys. So if you haven't yet, please subscribe and like this video. The first style is shown at the front of the box, and it's essentially this retro signature Kodak yellow sunset style. The second type is an all red Kodak logo where the lens is kind of a part of the D, which is quite smart. The third type is this gray sunset aesthetic. Type 4 has a white base with some blue, yellow and red geometry shapes around it. The fifth type is this black base with a rainbow design on the right hand side. And then lastly, for type 6, we have an all blue style. But as you can see here, there is a secret option, which I looked online, and it's an all clear / like frosted style, and it looks quite cool. And again, Kodak is being very smart business wise by adding that secret style at the end. But I'll give my overall thoughts on this entire camera by the end of this video, so make sure you stick around to that. Now me personally, I wanted the first or second option as the aesthetic just looked the coolest to me in my opinion. But of course, I didn't get any of them. I got the third type, which is like this gray sunset style, which to be honest, I'm not too mad about. If I had to pick a fourth option, it would be that one. Now when you unbox this product, you of course have a Kodak Charmera itself. And what's quite cool is that it also comes with a card specifically showing the variation that you got, with a quick start guide QR code at the back. Now this is sick, I like this, it's going in my journal. Additionally, you have a Kodak Charmera pamphlet basically discussing what this camera is, which I'll break down with you guys shortly. And lastly, in this little plastic here, you have a USB-C charging cable that comes with a keychain attachment for you to attach to your Kodak Charmera. So let's see what this pamphlet is saying real quick. Kodak Charmera, shoot with charm, it fits in your palm. Marketing. Fits in your, you see what they did there? The Charmera is actually a very smart name though, because it is like a little bracelet charm, and that's about it really. Back in 1987, Kodak launched its very first single-use camera, the Kodak Fling. So that's a film camera that has the exact same aesthetic as the design shown at the front of the box here. Its super friendly design and portability made it a favorite for capturing memories everywhere, encouraging spontaneous snapshots. With its vibrant colors and playful aesthetic, it truly embodied the spirit of fun and creativity in photography, which I think is a very important thing that they mentioned. Today, the Kodak Charmera draws inspiration from this retro icon, bringing back the playful spirit of this point-and-shoot film in a pocket-sized digital twist. And Kodak have done that quite a lot in the past. They take inspiration from all of their older products. I believe a Kodak Brownie did that as well. So let's take a little hardware tour to see what's actually on this camera here. The entire camera is pretty much made out of plastic, which is expected at a $30 price point. I bought this in the Philippines for like 2,450. Like I just saw it in the display and I was like, yeah, why not? At the top of the camera, you have the Kodak keychain digital camera logo, and right next to it are 2 buttons, the shutter button and the power button, which you can also tap to go back to the menu. You of course then have a tiny screen, which is an LCD, LED, one of the two. Right next to it, you have a playback button to view all of the videos and photos that you did shoot, and that's also the play button. And then you have 2 arrows, one going up, one going down, to just essentially browse through the menu as well as your photos or videos. At the bottom here, we have 2 slots. On the right hand side is the port for the USB-C charger, and then on the left hand side here, you have a micro SD card slot. The front of the camera has the Kodak Charmera logo, and at the top left hand side, if you were to be looking at your camera, you have the flash. And that's it, that's the entire tool. And to be honest, that's all you really need. So now let's discuss the specs of a Kodak Charmera. The lens is a 35mm focal length, and it has a 1440 by 1080 image output. That's 1.6 megapixels. Like I mentioned, it supports video recording with 1080p 30 frames per second, which still blows my mind. It has a built-in flash, rechargeable battery, micro SD card slot. It weighs about 30 grams and has a 0.96 LCD display. So it's LCD, okay. You can use a 1GB to 128GB micro SD card, which is crazy if you were to have like a 120GB SD card, because you can store thousands and thousands of content on there. Now, just like how it comes with 7 style options, it also comes with 7 filters, 7 photo filters and 4 photo frames. The 7 filters are black and white, cool tone, warm tone, pixel filter yellow, pixel filter red, pixel filter blue, and pixel filter gray. And weirdly enough, the 4 photo filters, they don't have a name, but I can describe them for you. The first one is quite cool. It's kind of like a Kodak film negative frame. The second one is more cute. It has like hearts, a cartridge, the Kodak K, and sparkles in like a pixelated aesthetic. The third frame is quite unique. It reminds me of that little paint app that we had on the desktop as kids. We'd always go on that little paint app. It's basically that, but a Kodak style. And the last frame here is your photo or video on the Kodak Charmera itself, with the 1987 logo and stripes along the bottom. It's fun, it's cool. I like how Kodak gave those options. Now that we have a better understanding of what this camera is, let's discuss the pros and cons. For me, the main pro is that it can hold a lot of photos and videos, even on a low gigabyte micro SD card. Looking at the specs again, the image output is a 1.6 megapixel with video recording 30 frames per second at 1080p. So it's not a crazy amount. It's not asking to hold a lot of quality. And with a 128GB SD card, like I mentioned, you can get thousands and thousands of footage on this tiny little thing. Another pro is that it's super functional. You know, it's tiny. You can pop this onto your jeans, your bag, or whatever, and you're always ready to capture memories. And Kodak did a great job here at making it more playful by adding 7 photo filters and 4 photo frames to make capturing those memories even more fun. Weirdly enough, I actually have more pros than cons when it comes to this camera, which I wasn't expecting before I bought it. The main con here is the quality itself. You know, you're not going to get amazing quality, especially amazing audio, unless you shoot it externally, which will be mad. But then again, that's not really a con, because it's just a part of the vibe. You know, it's a part of the character of a camera. But one thing I will say is that if you were to be shooting videos on your Kodak Charmera, make sure to detach your keychain or hold it in between your fingers, because I've heard that when you actually do keep it on and moving about when shooting video, it only really picks up the rattling rather than your voice or any other like audio that you're trying to capture. Basically, the microphone only picks up this little keychain here, which is a design flaw, but it's not a major one. After looking again, I believe a microphone is at the bottom of the camera, because there is a little R next to the circle, which I would assume stands for recording. All right, so all in all, what are my overall thoughts with this Kodak Charmera camera here? Again, before I even got my hands on this camera, I had no interest buying it. I don't know, it just seemed like a little camera that I'd buy for a girl I was dating, or let's say like a kid, like my nephews or niece or whatever. It just doesn't seem like something I'd use. But now that I have got it and I've learned more about it, I don't think I'll give it away. I think I'll definitely like pop it onto my bag, might use it every now and then when I'm with my friends or whatever. I feel like I'll mainly use this for videos and make a cool edit out of it, because I love the aesthetic that it offers, which we'll get into right now. What makes this tiny ass camera so special is that it has character. Being inspired by the Kodak Fling from the 1980s, this Kodak Charmera has a nostalgic feeling to it. The output also has like a Y2K aesthetic. It looks like it was shot in 2004 or 2005. And sure, I can imitate that aesthetic in post on Premiere Pro, for example, but it's not the same. Spend $30, it's already done for you. As cheesy as it sounds, there's magic in capturing it in the moment, and that's where its character and feeling comes from. You know, its size as well as its output. One thing that I really want to mention that I hope isn't overlooked is that this camera is amazing for its user experience, which I honestly believe is an underrated factor with any camera that people make. The user experience has to be fantastic. You just have to make sure that people enjoy using your camera. And lastly, I think it's worth saying that this is a very smart business move for Kodak. And although it's not 100% my thing, I respect it because Kodak are keeping up with the times. You know, they're staying relevant, and it's one thing that I really hope they continue to do, because Kodak are one of the main providers for film photography or photography in general. They checked off so many boxes with this product. You know, they kept kept up with the sign of the times with this Labubu style mystery product. At the same time, they stuck to their brand guidelines, and they also catered to the nostalgic factor of photography or film photography. They killed it, they smashed it, man. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the Kodak Charmera, and coming from a film photographer and film director, I'm a fan. And if you've been debating whether or not you should get it, go ahead and pull the plug. Try to get the Millennium version because that's the most latest one and it just came out. Unless you want like the actual, you know what I mean. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and learning more about the Kodak Charmera with me. If you did, please make sure to like this video, as liking this video tells YouTube that this channel is worth pushing out to new audiences. And of course, if you haven't yet, please click the subscribe button down below to help me reach 1,000 subscribers. It'll mean a lot, man. Please do it. I'll see you lot next week for another video. Take care.